Okay, well, Assassin's Creed Shadows got a stupid new update. An update that obviously they didn't have to. Maybe they got royalties or something from some Attack on Titan. Maybe they had to pay it. Maybe they had to do something. But at any rate, they gave us something in a game that nobody wanted, nobody asked for, and ultimately nobody seems to care. Because as it's standing, it hasn't improved Assassin's Creed Shadows numbers on Steam. Despite so many people wanting to disavow SteamDB, is the ultimate indicator of game hype. Most gamers who are serious gamers, most gamers have a PC nowadays. There's streaming, there's this, there's that, there's everything. So, I mean, 90% of gamers nowadays, or not maybe not 90, but a vast majority of gamers have not only a PS4 or an Xbox One, or have also a PC. So it's a synchronized thing. And look at it, just like the numbers are down from where they were a week ago. It's like even with a brand new free DLC. So this is very indicative of a game people just do not care about. Look at these numbers. Zero amount of retaining. Even within like the first couple months, it was already down to 2,400 players, and it got a little bit more. But these are chump numbers. These wouldn't even be that great of numbers for like indie games. Maybe 64K, but like down into the 2,000s, 2,700 currently playing now after free DLC. Obviously, people just hate Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that's the thing, is that like there's nothing unique about a Japanese open world game. Like I've said many times, they just haven't made a Japanese open world video game. Like they haven't made a good one. They need to. I mean, maybe Ghost of Tsushima potentially has the crown. Maybe there's other games. It's hard. Every individual person has. But you know what they need? They need like the Skyrim of feudal Japan. It's just like the whole feudal Japan experience, maybe into China, maybe into other territories, and it's just this massive experience. And you can create your own character, you can be whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, go wherever you want, big narrative storyline. They haven't made it yet. It's like it's such a bewilderment. But you know what they did make? A Attack on Titan Black Samurai simulator, woke retard, pushing everything on you. And the synchronization with I don't want to watch this guy's channel. I might get copyrighted or something. But yeah, look at the shill kind of media is just like, ooh, interesting. Not interesting. They're trying to be all wacky and kooky because they know nobody cares about this, and they threw shit at the wall, and obviously nobody cared. It's just like, for me and personally, other gamers too have to have the same feeling. Is it like it's just not that great of an idea for a game? It's just not that great an idea for a game. And with so many games for gamers to play, nobody's just gonna play this game because it's just a game that exists. They're gonna play a game that they want to get invested with, and the whole thing with Yasuke is just awkward for a lot of people, and they just don't want to deal with it. They just don't want to be around it. It's weird for them, and like myself, it's just cringe eye roll material ever since this game was announced. Now, I've fought with many people online over Assassin's Creed Shadows and how it's failed, and even AI will admit to you, be like, well, yeah, I mean, it didn't really do very good. Because this was supposed to be their magnum opus. This was supposed to shatter records. This was supposed to be their biggest game ever. And yes, this does have, um, you know, for like an indie game, this would be okay. But this is Assassin's Creed Shadows. This is supposed to sell like 10 million copies. It's like Assassin's Creed Mirage sold way more copies of that, and that was like, I would be more interested in Mirage than this, and that was like the lowest tier Assassin's Creed experience ever. I thought Odyssey was great. I loved Odyssey. Valhalla looks interesting, but it just shows to show how far Ubisoft has fallen. Now, look at speaking of which, how can anybody frame this as ever doing any like? Look at that. That's fucking ridiculous. It's like, zip. Look at that. Right to Odyssey. Odyssey is at the highest point. Odyssey's coming out. Odyssey gets released, and then everybody's hyped about Odyssey. Odyssey does well for a couple years, and then as soon as Assassin's Creed Shadows comes into development cycle, and it just bombs. Why? There are other games like Outlaws and Skull and Bones and maybe some sports games, quote unquote. But man, Ubisoft. Now, if you're like me, like Ubisoft games, like have your childhood. You've played the Black Flags, you've played the original Assassin's Creed games, you've played some of the older Ubisoft games, Far Cry, stuff like that. So to see it in this state is just like, what the frick are they doing? And the truth of the matter is, they just let too many woke tards in. There's just too many of them. And the more people they get in, the more this ideology spreads like a cancerous growth, and it just envelops the whole studio. It really is like cancer. And then you get this. Like, what is this? Why would they make such a thing? This looks so weird and out of place. This just should be like the poster child of modern wokeness. It's like, oh cool, cool, feudal Japan game, and then you take off and it's like, whoa, wait a second, why do they have a random black dude in there? Oh, because it's the right thing to do. It's because it's what we have to do as society for these marginalized groups. It's like, they have their own stories. It's like, yeah, Yasuke was a real story. It was an actual story. It really happened. No, it did not the way that ever it would be portrayed in Western media. The old history was like a cruel, vicious place. Like, you're not this person would not have been just leapt into feudal Japan and given his powers. Look at, they're coming out with it for Switch 2 too. Now, I have no doubt the Switch 2 is a capable system, but Ubisoft games and Switch just don't jive with me. I would never. Why would you play a game on an inferior console when you have a thing like PC or PlayStation 5? Unless it's all you have. And I wonder what the fraction of gamers out there just have a PS or a Switch. Like, I wonder what it is. See, gamers, see what they don't realize and what they actually probably hate. There's that Joe Raptor dude again. Really shilling hard for AC. There's another one. It's just I'm a successful shill. How to be a successful shill featuring Joe Raptor. But the sheerness of it all, when they could have just made it like, if they hadn't put Yasuke in, they probably would have sold triple copies. It's so bad. But that's what it is like in games. In another time in gaming, when there wasn't so much that we have, people wouldn't have cared as much. But because we live in an age of gaming where there's just so many great games, you don't need to force feed yourself woke simulator. Now let's look into this. Let's look into this DLC, because like, what is it even about? Now I love anime. I'm a massive anime supporter from the sidelines. I'm not majorly into it. I know I used to watch anime like as a kid like crazy. Cowboy Bebop, Ninja Scroll. Those were like literally, I watched those literally on repeat like a million times. But the modern anime sphere is like, like, do we really need this? Were people really like fans of Attack on Titan, where they're literally be like, ooh, Assassin's Creed Shadows has Attack on Titan. We can play Attack on Titan. Let's play Attack on Titan. And then this is it? Probably not. They probably want an Attack on Titan game, not shoehorned into Assassin's Creed Shadows. .exe, you know what I mean? And like, don't get me wrong, the Odyssey in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Greek Gods DLC, the Atlantis or whatever, fucking amazing, truly incredible, such a perfect fit, such a greatly crafted DLC. You'll recall in Far Cry 3 had a DLC called Blood Dragon, which is incredible, so creative, so wonderfully ideated. But this is like why? Like never have before have you has there been a completely out of place, unwanted, unneeded, like trying to just snag those anime uh, obsessed people, and it didn't work. It's like it just didn't work, and all you get on Twitter today is just people making fun of this. There are posts with hundreds of thousands of views making fun of Assassin's Creed Shadows on Twitter today. And like there's only a couple thousand people playing it. It goes to show that like the topic of video games, the interest, the intrigue, we all just love video games. We love talking about them, we love theorizing them, making fun of the ones we don't like, developing ourselves in that world. Oops, sorry. It's like, you know, it's just like it's like people don't even care about the game, playing the game. We don't even need to play the game. It's entertaining enough to play the games we love, have fun with our friends with games that we do like, and like not play the shitty ones that nobody cares about. There's so much out there in gaming that they can't get away with just, here's the thing, play it. So yeah, Ubisoft was for sure going to be a little bit quacky on this. Look at that. Can you imagine how much all that shit costs? Dear God. Yasuke is just like, it's the biggest face palm ever. Because with Yasuke, here's the thing. Sometime long ago, when Assassin's Creed Shadows was first conceptualized, there was a bunch of people together in a room, and they said, we should make one black. Why? Answer me though. Why? Why? It was like, where's the question? Well, they'll be like, if you were to take a leftist opinion, they're gonna be like, well, why not? You should be allowed to make one. You shouldn't be allowed to be, disrespectful and shit like that. It's like, well, you know what? Isn't it a little offensive to Japanese culture that you're shoehorning their culture and their history? Like, I'm sure, like, yeah, sure, you could make Greek gods and aliens in the Assassin's Creed story, but I mean, you're literally culturally appropriating Japanese history. And this is what they did. And there was all that controversy about the about the shrines, the Torii gates, and how offensive they are. The people at Ubisoft that make this are hate the Japanese culture because it's not considered woke. I love Japanese culture the way it is. I love Japanese people. I love Japanese this, that, and other. I don't need Western Californian values put into these things. It's like that in itself is offensive to these peoples. And I'm sure plenty of Japanese people agree with me that they saw this and they're just like, oh, it's like continual wokeification of our cultures. So this idea that cultures all over the world have to be kind of like, all intermingled and intertwined, and it shouldn't be offensive, but it actually is Yasuke's kind of story. And I've fought with so many people online about this because it's just like, for people to have a kind of like a woke centered point of view, is what they do is they generally think that if you are against this stuff, you're evil, you're R word, you're T word, you're all these things that they define as bad. But I could argue that, like the other way is even worse. Like we don't want a culture where all these cultures are intertwined and everybody's, being different. We don't want that. It's like we want things the way they were, the way they should be, and that's the way that art and culture. That's why there's so much pushback against woke culture. Is that like people want things authentic. They want an authentic experience. I want a movie about the Crusades where, every single character is, every different race and culture. I want them like authentic Englishmen, Europeans. Like, that's what I want. That feels right. Wokeness just doesn't feel right. And that's why people push back against it so much. And the people on the flip side are, oh my god, what is that? People on the flip side push back against it because they feel the need to infest and infect cultures with this weird notion that a multicultural society works, which it obviously doesn't. So we have Assassin's Creed Shadows. This is the end story, So all these people that fucking fought with me on Twitter and on YouTube and all the videos I made and saying, oh, Shadows is the best game ever. Assassin's Creed Shadows did not save Ubisoft. And yes, if it sold 20 million copies in its first year, it probably could have done a good amount to this bottom line of Ubisoft. So don't give me that. And look at that. That is horrifyingly bad numbers for a game like this that came out. If I can, like, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 still at like 20k people, and it came out after this. It's ridiculous, and this is like a way less known, company, titles, IPs. It's a ridiculous. Now there's this shill story going around a couple days ago where it was like it was over expectations. It was better than everything. Well, it sold less copies than Mirage has, and it's going to way less. It's like 4 million copies or something. Now that sounds like a lot, but you got to remember these companies measure in like tens of millions of copies. It's like they do. It's like there are these games that are selling tens of millions of copies. It's like a success. And with amounts of money this big, in the millions and hundreds of millions, you measure successes not by like, oh, it sold $5 million more, that it costs to make. No, it costs so much to make these things. So it failed horribly because it didn't even sell nearly what the old, less hyped game Mirage was. Kotaku. What's that? That's weird. That's an old article. But anyways, there was this shill article a few days ago about it like overperforming. Let's they're idiots on Reddit here. And yeah, there was a lot of that. But yeah, it seems way too specific a number. These companies lie. They just like do not like. They may stay within like the like reportings things, but they're gonna always lie. So did it overperform, only selling 4 million copies? No, that is like the way under. Ubisoft says they're making too much money. Meanwhile, Ubisoft stock. So, but like, this is the thing that I'm talking about. Is like these shills. Like you can show them this. You can literally screen cap them and send it. So like the game sales have nothing to do with the stock value. It's like it's a gaming company. Like selling games is what they do. Like that's the reason their stock is tanking. Is because their games aren't selling as well as yet. It's like no business on earth is on the face of the planet is like, well, we sold a lot this year, guys. Our stock is down. No, it's not how it works. There are different metrics and economics at play, but essentially it means their IPs aren't worth as much. There's not as much hype. Not as many people are buying their games. Their direction they're taking the company is lost investors' faith in the company. It's just like it makes sense. You know, a game like Hogwarts Legacy, like just blew up Warner Brothers games, and it recovered the losses of three of their failures. One of being Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and you know that. So I don't want to hear it from any shill that this is somehow some massive success, because the numbers don't lie, the player counts don't lie. You can't lie your way out of this anymore. That's like Assassin's Creed Shadows Simps. There's no going anywhere now. This is it's not gonna magically go to being like the greatest success ever. We have the numbers of how poorly it did. We have the player counts right now that are abysmal over a new DLC. It's a game with no hype. It's a game that was made for sole purpose of pissing people off and the anti-woke crowd. It was probably a game that was conceived during the era of George Floyd and all this insanity that goes along with wokeness, and that is the essence of kind of how they came up with these things. In 2020, see, I measure it in this: is that we in 2015 gaming was a known major part of our pop culture. Doing better, getting better than movies, better than any entertainment medium. But it was well known for being like for males, white males, this kind of thing. And yeah, somewhere along the lines, they just decided that they were like, hey, look, we got to start putting more representation in, you know, uh, less known people. Maybe they'll get us more money. And it hasn't. Like, still, the same people who played video games in 2015 are very likely the same people playing video games now. It's like you can't go to a hoodlum in a hood in Brooklyn and be like, here's a PS5. You'll play games, right? They'll probably plug it in and play it for like a day and then sell it or something. Like they don't care about sitting and playing video games. There's still a huge demographic of the population, of the gaming population, that they considered like diverse people. They just consider video games being like things losers do. You know what I mean? Like there's still a lot of those people. There's women there like that. There are older people that are like that, and there are minorities that are like that. And by putting in a Black Samurai, they're not gonna magically get a whole bunch of people to stop playing games. So that's I've probably talked about Assassin's Creed Shadows more times than I could count, but that's the long and the short of Shadows. It's an absolutely dead in the effing water game. Total embarrassment. Ubisoft Ukraine. Oh, look at all these fucking places. God, they must just have them all over the world. Ubisoft Ukraine. Huh. Jesus Christ. Well, that just goes to show you that the level of woke tardness is off the